A 2K22 is set to be one of the most highly anticipated WWE video game releases of all time. Of course, they need to make a huge improvement over the last game, and one way they can do this is by having the best roster ever featured in a WWE video game. In fact, it's rumored that they'll have one of the biggest rosters in any WWE video game to date. Now, this extends to including superstars who fans have had a strong desire to see make their video game debuts in the game itself. But which ones are they? Well, join us now as Wrestlegamia looks at 10 key superstars that could potentially debut in the upcoming release of 2K22. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're the first to know when we release a video. Number 10. Damian Priest. Damian Priest has had a fantastic 2021 thus far. The former NXT North American champion would make his main roster debut at the Royal Rumble, and he would have a great showing in the Rumble match itself as he would eliminate a total of 4 men, including Hall of Famer Kane.
The underground versus the underground. Wow! And Kane dumped over the top rope. You want your name in the bright lights?
Since the Rumble, Priest has teamed up with Bad Bunny to take on the duo of The Miz and Morrison, having a match at WrestleMania 37. Fans would love to see Damian Priest make his WWE gaming debut in 2K22, and there doesn't appear to be any reason why this won't happen. Number 9. T-Bar and Mace. Now that the infamous Retribution stable has disbanded, certain members of the group are being repositioned in other storylines. T-Bar and Mace are being used as a tag team on the Raw brand, and the former Dominik Mysterio and Dio Madden should without a doubt be featured in the upcoming game. In relation to the other members of the stable, Reckoning aka Mia Yim, she featured in 2K20, so it's likely she'll once again be featured as a roster member. As of course for the former leader Ali, he's featured in a number of WWE video game releases and will no doubt be in the next one. Number 8. Angel Garza. Angel Garza has had a bizarre 2020. He was featured in a popular tag team alongside Andrade and Zelina Vega. However, after Vega was released in late 2020, the tag team served no purpose in the eyes of WWE, meaning they broke them apart. Then in March of this year, Garza's former partner Andrade was released from his WWE contract, killing any hope for a push. Since Andrade's release, Garza has mainly found himself wrestling on WWE Main Event, and although he's not been featured on any storylines on Raw or SmackDown, Garza is without a question one of WWE's brightest stars. It would be great to see the 28-year-old debut in 2K22, and this will hopefully be the first of many WWE video game appearances for the former Cruiserweight champion. Number 7. Dexter Loomers. The Dexter Loomers character that has been featured on NXT programming in the last year, in essence, is a toned-down version of the Samuel Shaw character from TNA. Now, although Loomis is yet to win a title in NXT, he has attained a lot of popularity with the fans, and there is a big demand to see him featured on a weekly basis. Adding him into 2K22 would be a fantastic move on behalf of WWE and 2K, as he has a solid gimmick and an interesting character. It'd be even great to see him play against other superstars with strong established gimmicks such as The Undertaker or even The Fiend. Number 6. Shotzy Blackheart. Shotzy Blackheart has become one of the biggest breakout stars in NXT over the past year. She's been featured consistently on television and even had an entire takeover event, that being NXT TakeOver War Games, built around her gimmick, which revolves around driving a mini tank to the ring. In 2021, Shotzy alongside Ember Moon would win the NXT Women's Tag titles, becoming the second woman in history to win the titles as they were extremely popular with fans. With Shotzy being one of the most popular stars in NXT and her being one half of the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, it makes a logical sense to include her in the game. Number 5. Kylie Ray. Kylie Ray has become the biggest female star on the NXT UK brand. Having won the NXT Women's title in summer 2019, she's now held the title for over 600 days, making her one of the most dominant and successful women's champions in WWE history.
I have beaten everybody that has been put in front of me. So I'm going to go speak to Johnny Saint, because I want the best in the world.
There's a big demand from wrestling fans to see Ray move to SmackDown or Raw to wrestle the likes of Sasha Banks and Asuka. However, as it appears, the plan is to keep her on NXT UK for the time being, but adding her to 2K22 would allow players to see these dream matches happen. Number 4. Raquel Gonzalez. Raquel Gonzalez has had a breakout year in NXT in 2020. She would make her debut at NXT TakeOver Portland, assisting Dakota Kai in a match against Tegan Nox, and since then there's been no stopping her. She would win War Games for her team in November and would then become one half of the inaugural NXT Women's Tag Team Champions alongside Kai. And during the WrestleMania 37 weekend, Gonzalez would win the big one when she defeated Io Shirai to win the women's title for the first time in her career.
To stake her claim to the women's title, Gonzalez makes history!
Seriously, WWE really needs to add her into the game. Number 3, Karrion Cross. Karrion Cross over the past 12 months has become one of NXT's biggest stars. He made his NXT debut in May of 2020, and just a few months after, he would defeat Keith Lee to win the NXT title. Unfortunately, Cross would separate his shoulder in the match, which would force him to relinquish the title. But that didn't hold him back, as when he returned to action, he set his eyes on NXT champion Finn Balor, who he then defeated at NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver to become champion for the second time. Cross would be a huge addition to 2K22, and it would be great to see his valet and real-life girlfriend Scarlett also added to the roster for the upcoming release. Number 2, Dominik Mysterio. Dominik Mysterio made his first WWE television debut way back in 2005 when he was part of the infamous storyline between Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. Fast forward to 2019 and Dominik would be heavily featured and involved in Rey's storylines, and he would even get involved in Rey's feud with Brock Lesnar.
It's a miracle! Double 619! Dial it up!
In 2020, Rey and Dominik would enter into a storyline with Seth Rollins, which involved Dominik making his WWE in-ring debut in a match against Rollins at SummerSlam. This match was well received by fans and is classed by many as one of the best debut matches in WWE history. Since then, Dominik alongside Rey have been mainly positioned in the tag team division, and fans are expecting them to win the tag titles within the next year. Dominik without a doubt should make his video game debut in 2K22, and as he is now an active member of the roster, this is surely going to happen. And number 1, Walter. Although Walter has only been in the WWE for just over 2 years, he's become one of the most dominant superstars in the entire company. Appearing on the NXT UK brand, he won the NXT UK title from Pete Dunne and has now been NXT UK champion for over 750 days with no signs of anyone stopping him. Walter hasn't had too much exposure to the main roster. He's had a few appearances and would be involved in the Raw vs SmackDown vs NXT match at Survivor Series in 2019, but most fans know Walter for his hard-hitting offense and overall match quality. Walter without a doubt has to be added to 2K22. Let's just imagine playing him in a dream match with the likes of Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. It just has to happen. But there you have it folks, 10 superstars that could debut in 2K22. Who would you like to see debut in the game? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling video game content.